Well, Greg, this is you could see Greg here from the Mass Cultural Council. And as you see, he's on. We had you first on our agenda, Greg. That way you don't have to stay the whole time. And so, just out of respect for everyone's time, we can get started. And if we have anyone coming in late, we'll just admit them. So I don't know, Greg, if you have a little spiel or.
Sure. I could get going. My name is Greg Taralis. I work with Mass Cultural Council. I've been with the agency now for going on 5 years, but I actually started on the organizations team. So I was part of the team that was redesigning our organization's grant program in 24. I moved over to communities because I love working with people and not data sheets and guidelines and all that fun stuff. So this is now going into my third cycle for the communities. In total, I work with North Shore, north of Boston, Merrimack Valley, North Central, and now South Central LCCs. So my biggest thing, I love the fact that it's a volunteer-run program, essentially. So what I love to do is, what you'll start to notice from me as we continue to work together is I like to be very proactive, and I have figured out where the pitfalls are with the LCC members who engage in the program. So I try to send that information to you way before you get to that proverbial pothole into the road, so that it's a much easier experience. And it's, at the end of the day, a fun and awesome and rewarding position that I honestly feel we are all kind of privileged to be in. So that in general, that's kind of how I like to do things. And I like to be as open as possible. So weekends, evenings, obviously, weekdays, doesn't matter. Any questions, any concerns, I am a resource to you. So that's the, if nothing else, that is the biggest thing I want to communicate to you all and to anyone else who's on the webinar today. I'll leave it there. I could keep going, but I get too excited, so I'm going to just pause there. And if there's any questions or follow-up, I'm happy to be in touch.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thank you. And we're grateful, as I think somebody else said, we're grateful to see a face. We have this actually the first time we've met in person or even spoke to really our MCC liaison. So this is exciting for us. So you're seeing 6 of our members. We have 3 people, 4 people. So we're usually a board of 10. And so we've got 4 people who just couldn't make it. Our chair is coming in late, like I was saying before. She was at a wake for friends of hers father that passed away. So I think we're going to see her around 7:30. But yeah, so usually we have 10, and like you said, we usually meet via Zoom. And right now, obviously, we're out of our grant cycle, and so you'll see, you have a copy of our agenda, I think. And so I'm Kiki, and we can all maybe just go and say who we are. So I'm Kiki, I'm the secretary, so that's why you'll see me also over here typing on my laptop. So you'll like to see the side of my face. But I'll try to mute, because I also tend to talk to myself while I'm doing that. So good to meet. So I've been on the council this is my second term, so I guess that would be, I'll be cycling off at the end of 2027. And so I've been the secretary, I guess, for three years since I cycle up. So yeah. Next.
I'll go next. Hey, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm technically co-chair, I guess. I have been on the board for, I think this is my 3rd year, although I would not swear to it. I would defer to whatever Kiki has to say about that, because she's much better about those details. You will most likely hear from me with questions during the grant cycle, because there always seems to be something that comes up. But I'm thrilled to hear that you're, I don't mean to be like critical by any means, but I'm thrilled to hear that you'll be accessible. Because it's very challenging to try to navigate some of these things that like are no big deal to you, because you do this every day. But for us, it's like, we do it once a year, which is not really enough to truly delve into it. But that being said, like we have a great group, and we're thrilled to be part of this. And we've got some really cool stuff coming up, both in terms of our grantees and our public programs. And I would also like to echo the thank you for being here. It's much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll go next.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Kathy. Like Sarah, it's between 2 and 3 years. I can't remember, but I actually am really new to Littleton. My husband and I moved here 4 years ago from Melrose, where pretty much most of our life had been together. So this was just a great way for me to get involved and to work with this committee. Before I retired, I worked for a grant through the Department of Early Education and Care, and we wrote grants ourselves to Melrose to get people to come. So to be on the other end of it is good for me, and I just like helping out wherever I feel comfortable. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Love it. I can go next. I am Juliana. I'm originally from Mexico, and I moved to Littleton from Houston 1.5 years ago. When I moved here, I immediately connected with Kiki, actually, and I reached out and say, hey, I want to be part of this. I used to work for a music foundation, so a nonprofit organization in Houston, and music has always been a big part of my life. So I wanted to be connected somehow. And I also found it as a way to meet more people in town and get a better vibe of the town and do something for the town the moment I got here. So I'm very happy to have known, to start, creating this community with other people that have the same goals and interests. And yeah, it has been a great experience. Second grant cycle only, so not super experienced yet personally, but getting there and enjoying it very much. And so thank you for being here and for everything you do so that we can also do great things.
I'm Kim. I've been here since '93, raised my kiddos. I married a local boy who grew up in the town next door. And so we just, it started at PTA. PTA is the gateway drug, right?
Yeah.
We'll go in, we all help the schools, and then that's it. We hear of people doing other interesting things, and that's it. We want in. And so I'm up this June, so that means I'll have to find the quick fix to figure out what I'm going to do. I think the Conservation Commission is the next version of something, so we'll see. But this has been a blast. I'm an interior designer by trade, so that it was natural to understand. Ooh, these people have fun things and money to give away to people, and clearly I need new glasses because I actually thought that whatever is following you, Sarah, is a chicken, and then I see clearly that it is a cat, and so. Oh my gosh.
She has learned how to open the door into my office.
That's awesome. That's
Sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
She's your assistant. The word to use, right? Right. Anyway, it is great, and thank you, Greg, for showing up. We appreciate it, and it's fun. It's fun for us if you can tell us how to hook in with other because again, there's so many things that we don't need to reinvent. And it sounds like that's your exact mode of operandi, which I'm impressed with. And that just makes everybody happier. Yeah. And hopefully you'll come see our flowers when we plant them on the common. They're not real.
Yeah.
Just to tell you.
And if you enjoy swinging a sledgehammer, you're more than welcome to help hammer them into. It's very cathartic.
Ray would love that.
And I'm Judy, and I guess I moved to Littleton in 1960 when I was a little girl. And I left for 27 years and lived in the Midwest. I have been in industry most of my career, and I am now retired. I moved back to Littleton 23 years ago. My boys graduated from Littleton. I've done lots of volunteer work, but this is a new one for me. I've just gone through my first grant cycle. So I'm wrapping up the 1 year mark. And thank you for offering to help us. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, that's who we all are. So let's get official and call the meeting to order at 7:14. So Greg, I don't know what you typically do. Do you want to share with us everything you want to share and then you can be released, or do you just stay on and what do you want to do?
I could go ahead and address a few key things. I didn't want to interrupt while you were providing your introductions. Again, thank you all so much for having me. But a few quick things I wanted to mention. Kathy, the fact that you have actually worked in the grant space on the other side comes in handy completely. So your insight into that is going to really help the rest of the group, and I'm sure that already has. Fun fact, actually next week, Wednesday evening, the Melrose Cultural Council is hosting their grant reception. You are welcome to attend, as are all of you. I'll be there. Juliana, there's a lot of awesome programming happening in Houston, Texas, a lot of professional development around arts administration. I don't know if you're familiar with any of that, so I'd love to connect with you offline to see what you may know of that. Kim, it's funny you had mentioned that. One of the things that I've noticed, you talked about the entryways into working with the municipality and how that led to LCC. What I've noticed is a few people transitioned from LCCs to running for local office, and to the point where I want to actually see what that looks like on a statewide level, and maybe put a little blog post together how the did I strike a nerve? Okay, no. how the LCC has kind of been that transition point to that. So yeah, just a few quick things that I wanted to mention. One of the biggest things that we're doing now, March, April, May, we do a really big debrief on the LCC program, starting really at the end of April, but really heavily in May. And then we kind of implement a lot of things in June. And then that's when we send the updated guidelines, typically by July, August, along with the webinar trainings that we typically do August, September, October. So as part of that process, I definitely wanted to make sure that whatever feedback or questions you all or issues you're having gets woven into that process. So really, I'm here to listen. If there's anything that has stood out, especially as you're wrapping up the fiscal 26 cycle that you'd like to share with me now, feel free. But I really wanted to jot some notes and see what I could go ahead and learn from what you all have experienced. And the other thing that we are planning on piloting going over the next several months, especially going into the next fiscal year, is for those of you that have been around LCCs for quite a while, you might remember there was a time pre-pandemic that the Mass Cultural Council used to hold more convenings statewide, especially to allow LCC members to come together from different communities. They love that. They want a version of that back. That predates my time here, but I would love to facilitate that kind of space. So while our senior leadership team is advocating for a larger fiscal 27 budget, one of the things we want to do now for 26 is see what we could do to pilot a virtual model of that. So think of it as like virtual check-ins or office hours that have a topic of focus for that particular hour, and LCC members from across the state can come in, share what they've learned around that. When I've been a part of a few ad hoc models of that, and whenever LCC members from different communities can come together to share their struggles and what works, what isn't working, it's awesome across the board. It's been a great success every time I've been a part of something like that. So within the context of hearing your feedback, just know that I'm actually thinking about like, oh, that would actually be a great kind of topic idea to facilitate. So that's also kind of where we plan on using your feedback, or how we plan on using it as well. But yeah, if there's anything you want to share in terms of things you've noticed as you've been wrapping up the fiscal 26 cycle, let me know.
Well, I'll say just from fiscally, this fiscal year 26, I don't know if it had, no offense, as much to do with the MCC program as just how we sort of changed our program. But this was the first year that we really didn't have to chase people, to get paperwork. So so we have had a pretty easy wrap up. We've been wrapped up for a while, which has been great because I think it's given us time to have focused more on like our public art project, which you'll hear a little bit more about. And so, I think we kind of hit our stride. I think I really appreciated the updated forms that didn't have to have like the 2 signatures. So it made it easier to be able to and be able to execute that stuff digitally, because I remember when I was first on the council, like meeting our old treasurer, like in my driveway, to sign the papers and trying to figure out who's where at what time. And so that's really streamlined our process. And actually we are on a direct grant program. So we've actually already been collecting. We only have 6 outstanding packets right now for our entire FY26.
I was going to ask, when did that start? Do you remember when you transitioned from reimbursement to direct granting?
I I believe we've been, do you remember, Kim?
I think last year we got good
Oh,
at
okay.
it. The
Okay.
year
No.
before that.
No,
He's
talking about when we transitioned the program to direct, not how we transitioned to our digital thing.
Oh,
So
that's what I
it's been a
understood, but
direct.
I think it's been a couple of years that we tried to do it, but it seemed like the first year there seemed to be a couple of glitches that either we didn't communicate it or people were like, wait, this isn't how we did it. And it was just the folks that had already done it before with us. And now it's been so easy peasy. So it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, the entire time that I've been on the board, which we've been a direct grant, so it predates me. But we definitely did have, I think, a little bit where people, even though we write that in the letter and give them all of the directions, they were still waiting, thinking they had to wait until after their program and all of that sort of stuff. So we definitely, I think this year's the first year where everybody's understood, like, hey, you can start filling this out now, and starting to, which has really been helpful because Littleton is sort of a small town. And so it takes a really, really long time to get them to cut a check. And where, something like one of the schools can sort of cover the cost of something and wait for that reimbursement. Obviously, some of the sole proprietors and smaller grantees, we're struggling with that. And there was a lot that I was managing, like in the emails of back and forth of being like, when's my check coming, or this is due, and that kind of thing. So I think whenever they did make that, it must predate all of us, because I know when Julie was the chair, it was when I first started, which would be, I guess, almost 6 years ago, we were on a direct. And so I'm not sure, maybe it was, I don't even know. I could probably look it up. But anyway, so I think that's been helpful, especially for smaller LCCs like us that I think tend to get grantees that are not like big corporate, we don't have, you know what I mean? That need to have the funding in advance. I would say a lot of our challenges, and I don't know how, are kind of just with the town. You know what I mean? Where like we've done our part, right, and we've sent it to them, and then now it's just like, what is taking so long to get it there? And then we're of course the conduit with the grantee. Like I'm still working on someone where they never got the check from last fiscal year, and it's just like pulling teeth just to get them to answer me back. Has the check been cash, and of course we can't do anything else other than keep asking the town administrators the question. So I think that sometimes can be the challenges, but
does the town of Littleton have a municipal liaison assigned to the cultural council?
Yes, we do. One of our select board members.
Okay.
He doesn't come to any of our meetings. I think that since this is being recorded, I'll be very light on what I say, but I think that he likes the idea of being the liaison and is happy when his name is on stuff. But and I think when we go to the meetings, he's jovial, but there's not a lot of like good communication or sort of advocacy there. Okay. I mean, I would say I don't know that we've ever really been aggressive about it, like about anything. You know what I mean? Like, so I suppose if this check thing, this has been the biggest issue that we've had all the time that I've been here, where it's taken so long, that now they're coming back and saying, hey, our account is in the red because we don't have this money. Where is it? And so.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so we've never really had this issue before. And so I could see myself, if I don't hear back from her in a couple of days, maybe moving it up the chain, but I'm hopeful that the email I sent today, I feel like was very strongly worded. And so I'm like, I CC'd many other people on it that I had not CC'd before. So I'd like to hope that we're going to get it resolved. But
do you typically deal with the town folks from the town administrator's office or the town accountant's office, more the fiscal folks?
The fiscal folks and then the town clerk, but It's kind of all the same place.
Okay. In your experience doing it, is it because that maybe they're relatively new, so there's a lack of understanding, or they just don't prioritize? Okay. All right. Not okay. In general, definitely let me know not that we're going to solve that problem or any other that we may talk about later today. But in general, I've noticed that whenever we could lean on the folks who are running the communities, it's a little bit different because a lot of these communities are applying to our other grant programs. And when Mass Cultural Council reaches out to them about an issue that's on their end, that's delaying payment, it's like, look, you guys just got a $150,000 grant to like at the very least, you can, you could shepherd these things a lot faster. So if push comes to shove, if we need to have a conversation like that with town administrators, that's up to you. If you want to go that route, we're more than welcome to oblige a conversation like that. Yeah, that, because you shouldn't be. That's the other thing with the LCC members. Your work should not have to be the fostering and the building of a better municipal relationship is everyone's kind of job in that sense. But if you're trying your best and there's still something there that's not really clicking, then that's when we could definitely get involved to help bridge that gap. And we've had to, and I'm not speaking out of turn, we've had to literally do this for a lot of communities across the state, especially because you have a lot of turnover. Typically it happens because you have new select board members, new town admin, new town accounts that are getting hired. They don't know what the LCC program is, so it's tertiary in terms of all their other priorities. It's not necessarily out of malice. It's just out of a lack of knowledge from what I've seen so far, and to give them the benefit of the doubt. But if things should escalate and get worse, definitely feel free to reach out and let me know that.
That is fantastic and much appreciated, and 100% on the, total lack of malice. It's just, no one has enough time, energy, resources to get everything done, unfortunately. But so any kind of additional weight we can have to push things through is much appreciated. And Kiki, do you want to loop me in on that conversation too? I'm not sure what I can do to help, but I'm more than happy to check in on it and see if another voice would help.
I don't know if anyone else wants. I don't know that we have had a lot of other bumps in the road. I think we did have a little bit of an issue with communication with your predecessor that sort of stopped us from getting. So we were unable to get our priorities loaded into the website for fiscal year 26 because we had a technical issue, and we reached out and never heard back until after the deadline had passed. And then we're told there was no way to put it in now that the deadline had passed. And so that was kind of a bit of a frustration on our end, because then, of course, when it came to our grant cycle, we didn't have our local priorities up there. And I don't know, and maybe this is something that's beyond the pale, but it would be interesting if that did happen with them, instead of reverting to nothing, it could have at least stayed as it was the previous year. Because I would, speaking, from our council, like our priorities do not shift massively every year. And so it probably would have been, it would have been better for us at least to have at least been able to work with our FY25 priorities when those had a technical glitch, as opposed to then having nothing, So just something to maybe think about if there's ever conversation and feedback, that if people do miss those deadlines, maybe instead of giving them nothing, if they had something in previously, just letting that sort of stay, and making it change it instead of a re-entering everything like raw kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's a great point. I could touch base a little bit about that now. So that did come up last year, and due to the software that we use, that wasn't something that was feasible. So again, my proactive, the way I like to engage, my avoiding the pitfalls down the road, I knew that because I had seen communities do that on my first year when I was very kind of observant of things. Now, once that new cycle report goes live at some point in July, I start reaching out to all my communities, letting them know, hey guys, this is what I send them, a copy and paste. This is what you had last year. If you want to do this next year, just copy and paste it into new reports, submit it, you're good to go. Otherwise, it's due by August 31st. Failure to meet that deadline means it's going to zero out and you have nothing. So I basically send those reminders as we get closer to that deadline so that communities know, and they could, and that won't be an issue. I did notice that you didn't enter anything last year. So yeah, just know that's going to be a smoothed out thing as we work together going into this summer.
Great. Yeah, I would say that was our, and I mean, obviously anybody else can jump in here and say, but I feel like that was our biggest sort of hurdle last year where things went a little bit awry.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up. Like that was one of the things I wanted to mention too, was that was a pretty big bump. It was interesting. And I don't know how closely related these two things are, but we got a really big pool of applications this year.
40, I think I saw, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic, but I'm not sure if it's because we didn't have our local guidelines that, could have helped streamline some of that.
I will say I don't know what I actually hadn't seen your guidelines from the previous year, but one of the common local guideline criteria that I have seen is the requirement of a support letter from a local stakeholder or something along those lines. They frame it differently, or a venue confirmation. Yeah. So LCCs that do have that, there's definitely a correlation between having that type of criteria and seeing a lower amount of submitted applications. So interestingly, you got to test this theory out in real time. By not having any of those restrictions, you saw more applications come in. But yeah, so all of and you mentioned that you're not planning on shifting things dramatically from year to year, but this is something you could even start working on as early as this spring. If all of the fiscal 25 guidelines and priorities that you did publish, you could start from that as a draft, and how you want to update that to get ready for the launch of that fiscal 27 report. Yeah, you could start working on those things now, especially if you are planning on doing like your own debriefing with grantees to see what are the things they may want to see added or removed from that, if that's, part of your internal debriefing process. But yeah, all that to say, that's not going to be an issue next year as we work together, because I noticed that early on, and I made that happen 0 times with my communities. And Sarah, if at any point I'm saying I'm here to be accessible, if I'm lying to you, call me out on that, because I am holding myself accountable to those words. So provided that we get everything by that August 31st deadline, we'll be fine. Yeah, once it goes live, then at that point, we can't change it.
Awesome. Anybody else have questions, comments, concerns?
I don't have anything to add, but I just want to say it's so refreshing to have someone pop in and say, hey, here I am. If you need anything, I'm here to help. And that proactive attitude is just very refreshing and honestly wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for not just being here, but also opening up how you really want this to work and be better. So it's great.
No, and thank you for saying that, Juliana. I really do mean that. Again, at this point, 2 cycles in, I feel very comfortable in knowing where a lot of those tight corners, so to speak, exist. My goal is for this to be a fun experience. At the end of the day, thank you all. You are taking your time, regardless of whether or not you're retired is irrelevant. You are taking time from your personal lives to do this very important work. So for that, in and of itself, thank you to all of you. You're the ones that deserve all the gratitude. Trust me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on with just our business. You're free to stay or not, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I have to hop on to Acton at 8, but I'll stay on until 8. I have to hop off. But if there's any questions as you talk through those other things, feel free to let me know while I'm here. I did mark that May date on my own calendar, so I do plan on attend that. If you end up switching the date, that's fine. Just let me know. And if there's any other activities you are all planning, feel free to always send me an invite, and I could see if I could attend.
Great. Awesome. What is the program you were mentioning in Melrose next week?
And they're hosting a grant reception for all of their fiscal 26 grantees.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. One of the things that I would like to see if I could help encourage is LCCs already want to meet each other already. So maybe 15 to 20%. 25% at most of LCCs host grant receptions. So if they're hosting a grant reception, maybe the LCC members in the nearby communities might also want to attend as well. So you kind of get a look at what they're doing and that kind of thing. It is, Littleton and Melrose are quite far apart, but if you don't mind attending, I'll definitely forward you the invite that they sent me.
Right. You never know who's connected to what little community.
100%. Right. You're absolutely right. Yep.
If you don't mind forwarding it, whether or not we can attend, it'd be nice to see what.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I will. At this point now, a lot of LCCs, at the very least, have a tentative date. I'll think what I'd like to do is for all my communities, be like, hey guys, look at what everyone's planning, whether it's tentative or not, on doing. Here's some dates. If you're welcome to attend, feel free. Yeah, because I think that they're already doing the event. So if someone else that can come that would like to, especially to connect with other LCC members from that community, they definitely would. So thank you for that. I'm going to write a note to self and I'll compile that and I'll send that out.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I might see you there.
Good. Yeah, good. Nice.
All right. So next up on our agenda is the approval of minutes. So I think everybody got the minutes. It was not a lot going on because it was just kind of like, FYIs and stuff. But if we want to make a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, unanimous. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing the typing and the talking. So Ray, our treasurer, was not here, but I did open up the treasurer's ongoing report. And there's not much to report since it's just the beginning of the cycle, except what I had already talked about, which with the packets, as you've been seeing, the packets have been flying in, which is phenomenal. So I think as of right now, let me see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me click the 6. So we only have 6 outstanding, and I actually saw 2 that just came in. So I think we only have 4 grantees that we haven't heard from at all. So that's awesome. So I think that now that we're a couple of cycles into people understanding like that they can start, submitting the W-9s and that initial paperwork to start getting things going. So that's good. Several of them have already gone to the town, and like we sort of talked about, then it's just in a magical mystery land, and then we'll see what happens. And yeah, so I haven't been getting a ton of questions in the email, like just some clarifications of people who, where the grantee is trying to make a payment to a third party, and they just had some like kind of questions about that, just the process of how that was gonna go. So, but I think we're in good shape with everybody. And I think that our sort of digital way of doing it has worked out. But like you said, we'll have to talk about, because when Kim cycles off and then I cycle off, people will have to step into those little places with those PDFs to just kind of keep that party going. Because I think it's really streamlined it to not have to do paper. I did have one weird thing that happened. I went over and checked the mail, and there was a grant packet from somebody who had not applied for a grant nor gotten a grant from us. And it was completely filled out. Of course, they didn't have the application number. They just wrote a line through it, and they didn't have the amount awarded. They just drew a line through that. So that was really strange. That's never happened. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, so I don't know if it was some kind of weird thing where they thought, oh, well, just like roll out a whole bunch of packets to a whole bunch of LCCs and see who doesn't pay attention or something. But
creative grant cycle.
So that was really odd. And I even went back just to see, like, am I crazy? Like, did we, but it wasn't, I looked at the panel book. It wasn't even anybody who, because then I started thinking, well, maybe they, applied and they didn't understand, and they went on to the website, just got their own form or whatever. But yeah, no. So anyway, so I did reach out to them and just said like, hey, I don't know if this was a mistake. And so she said, oh, you can just shred that. So it was kind of a weird interaction, but so that was just kind of interesting.
Nothing happening over here.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think they've been coming in and we've been, kind of moving along well. And so, yeah, so I think we only really have 4 packets out. So the next step will be, of course, tracking to make sure we get those final grant reports from the ones who haven't held their event yet, and just making sure that everything matches up. But yeah, so that's that. Well, let's see. Anyone have any?
I went to a program at the senior center last week. It was in Irish music, and it was the person who did it I used to hire to sing to kids. So,
Roger?
But there were a lot of people there. It was great.
That's great to hear.
It's nice to see him.
Yeah, was it Roger?
Roger Tinknell.
Yeah. Oh, great. Awesome.
Used to be Tinknell and Bates. There were 2 of them.
Oh,
and now they've divorced from acting together.
Oh, there you go. And so you'll see on the agenda there the upcoming events. So there's the one, the Race, Racism, and American Music that's happening at the high school. And then the Open Door Theater there, that's coming up March 20th, 21, 22, then 27, 28, 29. So if anybody goes to that, you can make yourself known or send a picture if you get it. And then I did attach to the original email the Stronger Together, the art contest that is a grantee, just so, because the actual event isn't happening for a while, but they're taking in the contest. So I did share it on our social media and all that. But if you have, places to network at, I've seen the flyer like everywhere. So she's doing a great job. I was like at Muffins on Main and I was like, oh, look at this.
Right.
So that's good. And so that the actual event I think is in May or something. Hold on, I have it on here. I don't remember now.
Here's the flyer.
Yeah. I was on the flight. Yeah, that probably would make sense, but I have too many windows open. But oh, here it is. Oh, it just says spring 2022. So I think they have a couple of dates. I know one of them is in Littleton, and I think they have a date in Westford too, like to actually do the art show. But they're just looking for people. So I think we can, if you want to pass that along.
Thank you so much for adding those to the agenda. It's incredibly helpful.
Yeah. So I think those are the ones that we have a lot that have already happened, like you said. So we had a lot of on the front end this year, like a lot of February and January stuff. So yeah, so we'll keep doing that. And then I did also, if anybody is looking for anything, you can't find the agenda. If you do go into the shared drive, I used to keep a separate spreadsheet, but I just decided to add it into the treasurer spreadsheet, the FY26 grant. I just added a column for event date. That way we would have an easy way where everyone could see whatever the date was, as they gave, because some of them just said spring, whatever, but as I actually get the dates. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess next up, I was hoping we could just prolong this till Melissa got here, but Little Town in Bloom.
That's soon, right?
Yay.
I may have oversold it.
What do you mean?
So the kindergarten teachers want to be involved. So we got them. The wellness committee is talking about it, and I don't have her final numbers yet, but I will have them this evening. And I added somebody else, which now I forget, but
Girl Scouts you have on here now.
yep, they couldn't get there.
So the kindergarten is how many? It's like 6 classes, right? Of 20 something. That's a ton of more flowers.
So they're gonna do, each of them are gonna do 5 flowers. Then the teacher will divide them up and
okay. Oh, then it's not that.
tape off sections and tape off that. But Michelle Barth is just lovely. And so she was so excited. She's like, dare I? Could I? Might I? Yes. So that'll be great.
She was our daughter's kindergarten teacher and is currently our son's kindergarten teacher.
That's fantastic. She's a gift.
Yeah. Do we want to try to expand through Shaker Lane for something along those lines?
I would say not today,
Not
but
this year. I wouldn't at this point, not this year.
let's let them see how fun it is. And also, if we end up putting some over by the gazebo, then we need to sort of spread that out. So we could do kindergartners by the gazebo. We could pick 2 groups and do by the gazebo so that they're not parked on the common. Maybe we do all the kids by the gazebo. I don't know how the truth is we don't have them sorted that way anymore, right?
No.
They're installed, and so
We haven't, but we could. I mean,
we could going forward, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm not redistributing everybody's. I don't know whose is whose. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to update the spreadsheet here. Is it 30 for there? Just so we can start talking numbers.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm happy to do pickup for them if that's helpful. Since
Okay.
I'll do pickup for Parks and Rec and Tiger's Den and everything anyways. Doesn't add that much to
Are Parks and Recs and Tigers Den, are they participating?
as far as I know, I haven't reached out yet. I'm happy to do so. I just was kind of waiting for this conversation, I guess.
Oh, okay. So you didn't send the email to them yet?
I have not. Did you send
Yeah,
it?
that was last month's assignment, their girlfriend.
Yeah, we needed the commitments by the 27th of February.
Sorry. I have had a crazy couple of months and
Okay.
things have been falling through the cracks. I will
Okay.
I will contact them tomorrow.
Yeah. And then
Yeah. So what I kind of want to just do right now, if people don't mind, is I just want to go through the spreadsheet for who we don't have any info on here. And so, okay, we just got Tigers Den and Yoka, so we'll leave that. And so our own selves, I know last year, does anybody who's currently on the board want to make another one?
Sorry, Kiki, before we go to the next one, both Tigers Den and Parks and Rec told me last year that they were interested in doing it again. So I would be surprised if we didn't have them on board.
We just need to try to get the numbers as soon as possible, because so that I can
You
buy
have to
them.
order.
You can,
Yeah.
Yes,
and you
I'm
can
so
deliver
sorry.
them.
I'm so sorry. I dropped the ball on
No,
that.
no worries, no worries. Just let them know that they need to tell us the numbers. Like,
It's going to be very, very similar numbers because both of them max out enrollment on their programs every year. So
I think it's also just, can they execute it by the deadline? You know, like, so if we just need to make sure that not only are they interested, but that they also can make the commitments to getting them done at the timeline that we laid out there.
I mean, they turned it around in like 2 weeks last year. I think they can make it work. Kiki, would you mind forwarding me the email again? I'm sorry, I just completely missed it.
I think everything is on the spreadsheet.
So the spreadsheet's linked, and if you go onto the spreadsheet, the top of it has all the timeline, and then the email is a tab on the spreadsheet that you can just copy paste out.
I will say that if something's not in my email, it's much more likely to get overlooked.
Yeah. So it's on the agenda that's in your email, and it's on the minutes. There's a link in the minutes that gets you to the spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
So just for LCC members, anybody here?
Yes, personally, I want 3 flowers, please. And I'm sure Ray is not here, but last year he asked, I don't know if you have the numbers from last year, but I think he asked for 2, and then he told me, do you have extras?
Okay.
So let's give Ray 1 more from what he asked
for.
Yes, because last year he wanted an extra one and I wasn't able to give him one. So let's just make his family do 1 more.
I would do 4.
Okay. Sorry, who else?
Is Camp T going to be doing it this summer again? They are?
No, they're
Okay.
That's
No,
flowers. So
Because-
KT last year did the painted rocks, but we don't have the labyrinth anymore.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
So we're not going there? Okay, then I'll take 2 for the 2 grandkids next door.
So 14 there. And then I'll try to put out a list, or I'll try to put out an email. But if you want to go onto the spreadsheet and just update these. So then we've got Judy, the Garden Club. Did you reach out to them? Are they a yes, no?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to do anything.
Okay. And then Karen said Eloquence was a yes. She reached out to the brewery but hadn't heard back from them. So they're probably a no, since that was for the 27th. Let's see. And then Melissa said no for drama boosters. And then we had this local for-profit businesses that we had left it that if people had someone they were going to reach out to, they were going to fill that in. So I don't know if that happened at all. They're thinking no. Okay.
I was spending too much time doing my little nonprofits that I thought, no, too many things.
And then the art clubs couldn't get it together for the deadline, but they love the idea. But I think that's just like, because it's kind of like I know the one at the middle school is doing this huge mural. So, but that's good. So it looks like with 30 for the kindergarten at this, like, why does it say needs paint 50? Can't remember that. So it looks like 75. Oh, wait, hold on. There's an erroneous like 35 just for some reason sitting in here on the spreadsheet.
Did I put that in there?
I don't know. But that's okay. I'm just going to, Kiki Google's on air. Okay.
FCU is still in. You put that on there.
FCU, they do?
Just 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had that in there. Yeah.
Okay.
You filled it out. Good job, Kim. You did a great job with that. All right, so let's see. 60, 70. 80, 90. So it's like 100. It's 99, but 100 to round it up, right?
Is that confirmed only, or is that including Tiger's Den and?
Yeah, that's confirmed only. So if you can get us the numbers for them.
Yeah, because last year Tiger's Den had a whole bunch.
Yeah, last year I think you alone had like over 100, not Sarah?
I was just looking up the numbers. Give me just a second and I'll get it for you. But, I contacted them about one of the summer projects, probably the Labyrinth. And they were not in session, so I didn't hear back from them until later, but they're like, yes, we're on board with everything. Just let us know. As long as we're in session, we're in. So I would be really shocked if they weren't in.
How many did we order last year, Kiki? Like 200, no? Something like that? I don't know. My memory is terrible.
I know. And then we did a second order, remember?
For flowers, and there was something else. What was it? That
No, I didn't do a second order last year. It was just one
Two
order.
different kinds of flowers.
But didn't we have butterflies or something?
Yeah, but I bought the flowers and the butterflies at the same time.
Yes, but they were beautiful. So people were doing both, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think only a Tiger's Den or one of those, like only the kids had butterflies, and I think I bought flowers for everyone else. So what do you want to do this year? Are we doing the same, like keeping the kids doing butterflies and the rest all flowers? Or are we gonna do all flowers? What do you guys want to do?
The butterflies were nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kindergarten
Last year?
Sorry?
So I was just going to answer your question about what we did last year. So last year we ordered 100 sunflower, 60 of the flower with the stem, 75 of the tulip with the stem, and 15 butterflies, because the butterflies were smaller, I think. So we did 250 total. That was what it says in here.
Yeah, that's what I remembered.
I want to say that it was Parks and Rec that asked for all of something.
No, honestly, I think that was my decision. I said only I just made that executive decision to say, like, let's just give that, because otherwise it's like you have this, who do you give what, right? And you don't want the kids to be like, why does he have a flower and I have a butterfly or whatever? So I think the kids need to have one thing to avoid any problems with the adults that are coordinating that event. Personally, I think that's what works.
I think you did that. So last year, Tiger's Den had 123, Parks and Rec had 15.
Yeah.
And I think but that must have been, but not because we only had 100 sunflowers. So we mustn't have given them 123. We didn't have 123 of anything. So I don't know how that worked out, but.
And I do know, I can't remember if I ever mentioned this in a meeting or not, but I do know that Parks and Rec, they were located at City Hall last year, and now they've moved. I'm not totally sure if this program has moved, but but last year they organized a walk down to see the flowers and everything, and took all the kids through and got great feedback from the kids, being able to spot their flowers and their friends' flowers.
Mm.
It was a big hit.
So they're a lot further away now.
Yes.
And I think the program is not quite the same because the kids can't walk over there now. So it hasn't been as, from what the middle school communication with my daughter, it's not the same kind of enrollment. It's not every week like it was. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to participate, or if that's even, the program doesn't seem to be the same as it was before. So I don't know what's happening there, because it's not like it was where it was every single day after school and the kids walked up that little pathway now, because the transportation's been an issue. They haven't quite sussed that out yet.
So
I did figure it out, but for the purposes of Littleton and Bloom, it was a relatively small number anyways. No.
So guys, I'm a little worried with the time frame, because we said we were gonna, put the flowers
install them in the 12th of April, weren't we?
11th or 12th of April.
Yeah.
And that is 1, 2, 3. Well, it's the fourth weekend from this one.
Yeah.
So
we're slated to order them tomorrow.
Sorry?
I would say on our timeline, you were slated to order them tomorrow. So this meeting was where we were supposed to give the final numbers. Yeah.
So Sarah, when you reach out to them, considering your relationship with them and how you have worked in the past, how fast do you believe they will be able to give you a number?
They've been pretty responsive in general, and I'm more than willing to just show up. I'll just wander over there and knock on the door and say, hi, this is where we're at, and see if we can speed things along that way. And, because people, case in point, get buried in emails and things just,
maybe a quick call is I don't think you have to go, but a quick call could be great.
I haven't found that they answer their phone very often.
Oh, okay, that's tricky.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do answer the door.
Okay, wonderful. So maybe I can. So I will be out this weekend, so I won't be able to. I'm traveling, so I won't be able to order anything on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So if I have it by Thursday, that would be great. If not, I'll order Monday for sure.
I have a relative day tomorrow. I will do my best to like push on this and get some answers.
And sorry,
I was just going to say, before we keep going down this rabbit hole a little bit, let's see if Kim, have you heard from the select board about when we actually can install? Like, is that date approved, or because if that's moved, then maybe
So far, they were like, yep, that works.
Oh, okay. So that's okay.
There'll be a snowstorm that weekend.
I know. Yeah.
Like last year, that was terrible.
Exactly.
and I honestly haven't looked at the spreadsheet, but have you guys received information also about the paint that is needed? Is that updated? Okay. Because
So it looks like paint just says FCU says yes to paints. Eloquence needed paint, and Wellness Day needs paint.
3. So then
but
we don't have
nobody,
more.
right? And the kindergarten teachers, it says yes to paint.
They said they have so much paint, but most of it is just washable.
Yeah, indoor.
Yeah,
And
you
so
can't do
that's
that.
just going to be ruined. So I said, we'll give you paint and we'll just have to warn them.
So this is
Mock
how much
up,
paint I
kiddos.
have at my house plus 3 spray paint. There's 4, I think. Wait a minute. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 over here that you might not see, and this is a box of different colors.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have paint?
I think I gave mine to you. Am I right?
I don't remember.
All right.
This is all I have, and I have 2 spray.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I have one spray can of some kind of one of the background colors. I think it's pink or purple. I can't remember. But I don't have any more of the little ones because all the ones that I had back had like this much left in it, and so I don't know that that's necessarily like we're going to give that to them.
I think that's all. It's such an important point. Like I don't know. I loved painting both sides of the flower personally. So when we're delivering these flowers to everybody, we should say, hey, make sure both sides are painted, right? So either they can use the spray or so that we don't have to do that, or they have more fun and do 2 different flowers in one.
Yeah, I feel like we got a little bit. There was a big conversation about like, oh, well, one side won't get seen because it's through the pole, but I think you could still see it enough that it wasn't. Yeah,
when you're
that it wasn't.
walking around.
Yeah, that I don't think it was that it was for my opinion, it wasn't worth the extra work of spraying the back for what was missing. So I agree with you. We can just say paint both sides, go to town. You know,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah. So I agree. I don't think we would need the spray paint outside of I don't know what I think Ray was using green spray paint right for the
And that's
poles.
something that he will take care of for sure. Well, I
Yeah.
think no, he did all the poles himself.
Right. So yeah, I don't know that we need the colored spray paint for the back. So I think we would just need. Last time it looks like from the spreadsheet that they came in sets of 20, and yeah, but I'm wondering like for the kindergarten teachers, like would they be able to? Oh, she's got one.
One box.
Oh, wait a minute, there might be
Right.
more. Here we go.
Get a
Oh,
bag.
see, I remember we had a ton of paint, so we don't need to buy paint because we can give each 4 boxes now with mine.
This is 30,
Yeah, that's exactly the one that I have.
and this one is about half full.
Okay,
So
those other
we
ones are
don't
all
need to
new?
buy paint.
I don't know if it'll be true this year again, but last year Tiger's Den said we have so much paint, don't worry about the paint.
And
Yeah,
is that paint, take the weather?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same paint we used last year.
Okay.
Yes.
They also
There was
have all
only,
of the
I think there
paintbrushes.
were a couple of flowers that drained with the rain.
Yeah, but it wasn't too
They were
bad.
definitely not Tiger's Den or anything. You know, I don't remember who they were from, but they were not those.
Last year they said no to paint. So okay, maybe we don't need to buy paint. That's awesome.
So, and Kim, do you have brushes? Because I don't have any brushes.
Yep, I have the whole envelope.
So we don't need that either.
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So
just
I'll
really-
just make sure to order whatever. And what about like once I
Also,
see
there's a couple of ladybugs just in case.
A couple dead ladybugs in the bag. That's great.
so once we have the final numbers, are you comfortable with me assigning cute animals to the kids and flowers to the rest, or how do you want to do it? Because I just don't want, I don't know, from my experience, I work with kids. From my experience, when there's choice and you cannot give a kid their preferred choice, there's trouble. And I want to avoid that. I want them to be happy and you know, like everybody gets, you can also say you get what you get and you might get upset, and which is a
Don't
life
get
lesson.
upset, yeah.
But I don't think we need to give them life lessons for this
Right. I
Hard to-
don't know that we need to be in the life lesson business, right?
I don't want to be in the live lesson business. I want to be in the joy.
Have you been back to their website?
Yeah, I was going to say, do they have anything new?
Right.
Oh, no. Yeah, I looked through. It doesn't look like there's anything. I checked when we first spoke, but I did find the same things that we were, that we ordered before. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, I put the links on the spreadsheet, like the direct link is on there. So you should be
Yes.
able to just click and get to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did before, and I
Same.
didn't find anything,
I think the kindergarten teachers definitely need all the same so that
Right.
every kindergartner gets one thing. And I would suggest the flower because it can be sectioned. So I think-
perfect.
I think that the sunflower is the way to go for kindergarten.
Okay. I'm gonna make a note of that. Sunflowers.
Yeah. Can you, can you send a list of the options? And when I talk to people tomorrow, I can just ask them what they'd prefer.
It's a tab on the spreadsheet. So
Okay.
there's a picture of it
Awesome.
and all the links are there.
Google Drive and I have not been friends lately. So
If you click on the link, you can see, you don't have to get into the drive. So there's a direct link on the minutes that we just approved. You can just
Nice.
click right on that hyperlink and you'll get to it.
Although I
I'm
would
really
be
scared of asking you to approve me.
I would be cautious, Sarah, in giving them options, because what if there's not in stock? Like I think that's a little tricky.
I was
I
going to
think-
say more along the lines of, do you want all of the same thing, or do you want a variety which might include this, and that?
Okay, perfect. Yes, saying it like that, that's fine. But don't be
Yeah, I'm
specific. Do you want
promising
tulip
don't do
or
anything.
sunflower? Or do you want, because that I would try to do my best, but I don't think, I'm just scared about things being in stock and those sort of things.
And like, there's no reason we need to make more work for ourselves either, right?
Yeah.
This is it like we're putting together a really cool art project, but it's not about the specific shape of the specific cutout either. So I will broach it to them as like, what would work best with your kid in terms of.
Okay, variety or no variety. That's what I would say. Okay, excellent. And then for the personal things that we are buying for ourselves, does anybody have, well, if you have a preference, make sure to put it on the spreadsheet. Let me put it that way. If not, you'll just get what you get and you might be upset. I'm kidding.
That
I
sounds
For me,
frustrating.
I love the chaos. Ooh, look what I get.
A surprise. Okay, leave it to me then. Excellent.
Who cares? It's art. It's fun.
Mine is not going to be a masterpiece, so like,
Okay, wonderful.
Actually, last year we sat outside, my kids and I, and sat outside on the iron table and just painted for a while. It was really cool because my kids are big,
Mm.
So it's so funny.
28,
Last year
26, and 24. So it was kind of a fun,
I love that.
yeah. And they were just as bad as you might imagine.
Last
But
year
it's fun.
I ordered only 2 for me and my daughter, because I know my son is not into that at all. But my husband was like, "What about me?" So I had to give him the back of my flower. I said, "This year, I'll get his own flower."
We did paint the backs actually, and they do look better when they're painted on the back, even if it's just sprayed.
Yeah.
Let's encourage everyone when we're dropping off. Let's encourage everybody
Yeah.
to
Two sides, two sides.
Okay.
If anyone needs help delivering, picking up, call. I
Thank
don't
you.
have a job.
So what we can do is, if this works, Sarah, as soon as you have the information on the form, give me a heads up. Email or text is better, but whatever you want. Like, yeah, the file is ready, and so I will order, whatever says I need to order, and then we need to set a date. Whenever I know when those things are gonna be delivered, then you guys need to come to my place, like we did last year. Kim, if you can be the first one, so you can bring the paint and then we can distribute that would be great.
Piece of cake.
And we'll set a date, and you guys
Sounds
can
good.
it'll be all in my garage. It'll be fast and easy, hopefully.
I appreciate
The
that.
only other thing on the supplies spreadsheet, so I took out for the cost, I already took out the paint. We already had the brushes out. So last year we did do those lawn signs that had like sort of said the ones that are on the metal, you know, that said like Little Town in Bloom, and then it had the names of everybody who participated. And so that was it was like $150. We did 10 of them at 15 each. And I don't know if we are thinking of doing that again. Or if we wanted to, and we also had an A-frame that I think I have to refresh my memory on that. I feel like it was just generic. I'll have to look back at the picture. I don't think it had a date on it, and it didn't have the names. I think it was sort of just a big like, hey, that's what this thing is as you're driving by here. We just had one. So if we are going to, I know we had gone back and forth about, are we going to have a second location or are we just staying on the common? But I even think if we did stay on the common, it could be worthwhile getting a second one so that there's sort of one on each driving point. Because we had the one that was there was on, like, if you're heading toward Donnellan's, and that was the only, like where they do put them, but it would be nice maybe to have a bigger one that's sort of over by the actual V part, like you know what I mean? When those two roads converge.
Yeah.
So, and those run, well, if we invested in a generic one, right, where we could reuse it every year, then they're about, I just bought some for the church. What did he charge me? I got 4. What was it?
I was going to donate my open house signs because my buyer agent just graduated and is starting her own team. And so the panels can be just replaced, but they're really light. So the wind just blows them over. So we would have to be clever or stake them, which is another whole ball of wax. So
Are they like an A-frame?
they're A-frames. Yeah. Like a little open house down that way.
Oh, okay. Are they like, yeah, as long as we knew what size they were.
They're really light. And I could,
Yeah.
I'm happy if you gave me the graphic, I could have it put on, but we'd have to figure out how to keep it in, like maybe a U wire shaped tomato steak or something to keep it in. But yeah, I would have 3. So we'd have 6 panels.
Yeah, at St. Anne's, I have a super ghetto situation where I just filled some socks with sand, and I drape it over the bottom, and then they don't tip over.
Yeah, mine doesn't even have arms.
Oh, so it's not like a open.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I was
I'm
like,
picking up what you're dropping down.
Where are my arms? Because we used to do socks and sand. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we probably have a little more time for that because he can turn her around fast. But I just didn't know if we had thoughts about. I like the idea of the lawn signs that have the actual names of who participated that year, and I think at $15 a pop, it's not that bad. To get them. And maybe we don't, I did get 10 last year because we originally had said we were going to put some at Fay Park, which we did eventually. But if we're just staying in the common, we probably wouldn't even need 10.
Probably
I don't know if we need 10 of
but
them
it's
in that
nice to have because
We do
it's
have
good for
budget
people.
that, right?
Say it again, Juliana.
You have budget for that? Like,
Yeah, well, because we had a budget for the paint.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Then I would say yes.
which
go
I
ahead.
just deleted.
Well, so do we want to see whether we get confirmation from Tiger's Den or not? Because that's going to drive a lot of whether we go to Fay Park, right?
I think we can put it up personally. Regardless, I feel like we still fit in the common and will look gorgeous, like a tulip field. You know what I mean? Like we need a lot for it. It didn't look crowded at all last year.
No, it didn't look crowded.
I agree. I know we had that. Yeah, I felt like at the last meeting we decided we would just stay with the common so we would have that full feeling. Hi, Melissa. Yeah, and I agree. And I also think that it's a lot easier to just sort of have it in the one spot and say this is at the common, and then it looks really full, and it's and then we wouldn't need as many signs and all that sort of stuff, and we would just have that one location. I think because we had that sort of where they dripped in a little bit last year, then we put the overflow one over at Fay Park, which was fine. But I agree that it didn't seem like as many, And if we're adding another 100 like to what we already had, it would be really impactful to be in that space, especially where we have to keep it onto the what do you call it, on the mulch.
Mulch, yeah.
It'll make those spaces feel really fat,
And because we're putting, sorry, it's my reminder to take the trash out, and I don't want to. But the fact that we are putting several flowers, because in some we had even 3 things. We had
Yes.
like a butterfly and 2 flowers. So it's not big. It's not going to be big. Even
No, and it looked nice with the multiples.
Yeah.
I had brought an impact driver, so Ray and I were the ones driving all the screws in, and it looked really nice having multiples.
Yeah.
What
I
I
agree.
from several stakeholders was that, like, what the kids said was that it was really fun looking for their flower. And if it's not as big of a grouping, that's not going to be the same experience, I don't think. So,
It'll be easier to spot if we move them apart, right? Because
yes. Then you just kind of walk down the row versus
yeah, no, that's a great point too.
Right. I was just trying to update the budget here. So we have like 1,300 earmarked for it, so I think we would be okay.
Then I would say go for it, Kiki, because it's nice to
Yeah.
name the people who participate and explain what this is all about.
Right. Yeah. And I've been using this guy a lot this year, so he's given me a better price at the church than he gave us last year. So I might even get that down to be like, hey, why are you? Yeah, what's happening here? But now that I'm giving him more business, maybe he's thinking, oh, okay, she's coming back.
Mhm.
Yeah, because let's see, it was 100. So last year we spent $819.50 in wooden cutouts. And
800, no? Yeah.
819 and 50.
And
And so I don't
remember,
know.
do we need stems?
So that's Ray is the one who bought those.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sure we would need to send him an email, obviously, after this, I'm sure, saying, hey, look at the spreadsheet by this date. Well, whenever Sarah lets us know, make sure to look at the spreadsheet in case you need more. He would buy those, is my understanding.
Right. Yeah. Last year we spent $100 on them because they were about $1 each.
And we have to spray paint them. So it takes a
Right.
couple of go-throughs to paint them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I think we're well within, the budget, especially without the paint.
Yeah. Yeah, the paint was not very, but it was the most expensive thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Is it possible? So I can't 100% guarantee that Tiger's Den and the club won't want paint.
I think we have enough. Look, Tim had four boxes, and I have 5 boxes, and so far we have 3 organizations, and we don't have to give them a whole box. There's a ton of colors in there, so we can even split the box in 2. So we don't need paint for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right. Any other? So I guess takeaway items are: look at the spreadsheet, update whatever you need to update, and then get the numbers into Juliana, and then we'll
hopefully by Thursday if possible, and if not, I'll make it work
when you get back.
Yeah,
I will do my absolute best, and I'm so sorry. I feel like
it happens to the best of us. It's okay.
I dropped the ball and everything, so I'm very sorry.
I will send Ray. He had sent me an email saying he was just looking, so I'll send him an email just so he can tell us how many sticks do you have left, so that we can get a handle on that a little bit too. All right. I mean, that's any other business is our next thing.
I think that's it. A lot of little town in bloom.
I just had a question.
To say?
Are we meeting 9 a.m. Saturday, April 11th? That's what I had in my phone from last time.
I don't know. The spreadsheet says either April 11th or 12th at 10 a.m. We were still waiting to get an approval of the actual install date, which sounds like they were fine with either one of those. So I suppose we'll have to just make that decision. I also think that, just being honest, I feel like Ray is a big driver of this install day, and so I kind of feel like want to hear back of what his available, if he's available for both of them, or what day works there.
Okay.
Yeah. And my availability should not influence this at all, but I am not available on the 11th. I should be able to be there on the 12th, no problem. But again, I'm not critical. I can help with the setup and pickup and drop off and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think we had originally shot for the Saturday because I know, Reverend Jen and myself are not available on Sundays either unless it's later.
My daughter have a riding competition that day, so that's all day long.
So when we send hi guys, by the way, I'll just pop in at the end, just not contribute except this one sentence. But I was gonna say maybe we just when we send the minutes to everybody, take a quick poll as to see 11th or 12th what works better. And obviously, like Ray would be a big driver, so I don't know if we want to check in with him first before we do that, or just let him respond to that. I don't know. What are you guys?
I think he had already said 11th worked for him.
thought we said the
Oh,
11th.
Yeah.
It was defined already.
Okay.
We could always add like a rain date or overflow for the 12th if needed.
Great. Yeah, that works. Okay, I'm cool with the 11th. I'm sorry, Sarah, that doesn't work for you, but like you said, I know I'd feel the same way. I'd be like, whatever works for the majority. Yeah.
It is not even remotely about me.
Kim, was there any indication of like the takedown date, like when they had to be down?
You're muted, Kim.
You're muted, but you look really beautiful talking.
Oh, hi. Yes, we have to take it down before Memorial Day. And if we find out that the seniors are going to be put their signs out before then that's when they kind of want us to clean up. I don't have that date yet.
Yeah, my son is a senior, so I haven't heard that, but I'm sure that I will find out.
There
hopefully.
you go.
And
You
so
can put
I'll
out that alert.
Congratulations, you have a senior.
Congratulations. That's nice.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah,
that
he's
senior
turning
year.
18 next month, and I'm like, what's happening? But
Kiki,
anyway.
I just went to the orientation for high school last night for Abby, and I feel the exact same way. I'm like, I'm not ready, and I'm not like that. I'm usually like, I never was like, oh, I miss the baby stage or anything, but now I'm like, I'm not ready for like this at all.
I've also never been one to mourn the stages, but there's something about the adulthood thing that is just like, and of course he'll still be living here.
For me,
But
it got better once they made it through college and then they become their own human beings. Life is so great with them.
That
you get to be cool and friends, and you don't have to be like, where are you? Where are you going? What are you eating? Why are you eating that?
That gives me hope, Kim.
I will second that. I have 3 sons, and I can't tell you how nice it is to not just love my sons, but to really like my sons.
Exactly. It's been fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah.
That gives me hope.
listen, just before I forget, we were doing the numbers on the spreadsheet. If any members wanted any flowers to do, I don't know if you want to paint any, or your daughter would want one.
I'm like more of a performing artist, so no.
I also did not take any, so because I am not a visual artist. Yeah. Okay. So 14's good.
Yeah, I've been tasked earlier. Sorry, I got sidetracked. If we, given that I haven't finalized my numbers yet, apologies. If my kids decide they want a couple more to do a painting party with their friends, is that okay?
As long as we know before you place the order, because we won't have extras.
Yes. It will be before I submit the Tiger's Den numbers.
Just add them to your personal
Okay.
thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, put them in that Littleton Cultural Council number there.
I just wasn't sure if that was like pushing the numbers of personal.
Oh no, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's kids in the town.
Yeah, exactly. However they're doing it is whoever their organization is fine.
Awesome.
All right, yeah, we're at like an even 100 right now, so that's good. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not the budget expert. That I'll leave that to Ray. But based on this, I think we're really well within what we've earmarked. So I think that's fine. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, so hold on, I just got to go back to the minutes so I don't forget what we just said. Okay, install target date.
Is it weird to order 10 extras in case somebody says, oh my gosh, I didn't get back to you? Or just no?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. I think we have to be very, very strict for our sake, because then who's going to store them? Who's going to remember? Who's like, no. I think we need to
I
make
agree.
it easier for everything.
By the way, I want you to talk amongst yourself about who is holding these next year.
Exactly. I don't know.
That's the other thing is we're gonna have to talk about next steps. But I agree. I mean, I think we updated the email to be much clearer than we were last year about those drop deadlines, and so I think I agree with you. I think we did that. We set them, and we need to like hold to it. Because that's kind of what happened last year was there was all these dribs and drags and then things that were happening after and like all that stuff. And I think that becomes too much to manage.
You
what it is?
particularly,
It's
Kim,
all
you
the
worked
hardest.
double. You worked more having to pick up different places and doing a second install. Like, I don't, even though you're great and probably love it, I don't think it's okay. Like, better use your time for something else.
Kim, what that wellness day you were talking about, is that's happening before these deadlines?
So I think it is actually. And so let me just text her.
Okay, yeah, because I was just thinking, I haven't heard about that yet. All right, well, I'll put a little, Kim is checking on the notes. Kim is checking, because I think that was the issue last year, is the actual wellness day didn't happen until after like middle of April or something like that.
Right.
Okay, checking to confirm. Checking to confirm false. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. I think we're good.
Vicky, could you do me a big favor? On the spreadsheet where you have, now that you have it open, on the kindergarten request from Shaker Lane, can you make a note that says sunflowers? Like, yeah, so that I don't think I will forget, but just so that I, can sleep at night, not
all 30 sunflowers.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, I put a note in there.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, cool. I think we're in good shape here. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to make that say no. Okay, I'm just cleaning this up. Okay, great. Yeah. So next meeting is April 14th, 7 to 9 on Zoom. And then I was just keeping the same sort of approval of minutes, treasurer's report, upcoming grantee events, any catch-ups on FY26 grant cycle, and then Little Town in Bloom. I guess we could say, how'd it go? Because that'll be 2 days or whatever after.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I think just anything else that needs to happen with that, we could just try to keep on email. I remember last year we started a separate thread that was just about Little Town in Bloom. So I think whoever the first I guess it will be me because I'm going to email Ray about this date. So I'll just note to me, I will start a new email, note to self, that is Little Town in Bloom. And so if we can just try to be good, because I know all of our inboxes are like blowing with everything, to just kind of keep everything about that in that email thread so it doesn't get like confusing with everything else.
That's a great idea. Thanks for reminding us about that, Kiki. That's a good idea.
That's a good place to put the flowers, the pictures, once we get those too. That way they're all together. And then when the town asks us, it's all together now.
Yeah. And then, did I say this at the last meeting, but we did submit everything to the town report for FY
Yes.
5. So hopefully when the town meeting, we'll get to see that book. But yeah, but it's great to think ahead to kind of keep these things. There is a folder in the drive that I'm going to try and be better about putting the things in, so I don't do what I did like a month ago and just go through my entire phone and then upload them all. But
yes, and I sent you those from the high school or the middle school or there's something, and then I was like, I'm so sorry, but if I don't do it right this minute, it's going to be gone.
I'd rather see them now than I'll search for them, because I'm one of those people that never deletes an email. Like if you send me an email in 2005, I have it. So if you're going to deny what you said in that email, I will find it.
Yeah, I have a little problem with that. Hundreds of thousands. Yep.
That's the product of divorce, though, right, Kim?
Natalie is calling me, so let me double check.
Oh, wow. Got right back to her. Yeah, so I think that's everything. Yeah, so just keep up with the emails, I guess. If there's anything massive that happens,
Awesome. Thank you.
And then I guess she's saying, and Natalie's calling her back about the wellness day here. So I don't know if we want to just wait and hear. Oh, so did anyone have anything else to add to the tentative agenda outside of those items?
No.
Maybe I might add in, because he was saying for the MCC rep. So yeah, Melissa Gregg, our new MCC rep. I think I speak for all of us when we say rock star, amazing. The fact that he even showed up to this meeting is he's heads above anybody we've ever had. But
attitude, he was amazing.
Yeah, and so he has lots of like great ideas, and he seems like he's on top of it. They're off the list. Oh, okay.
It's too tight. their timing is wrong this year.
Okay. Then to a
Fine.
no.
As long as we know we can work with anything.
Yeah. So that takes us down to 70 cutouts currently, and then we'll see what Tigerton says.
Great.
All right. Yeah, so he was awesome. But one of the things he said was that the MCC was going to be starting, like to have some like webinars or whatever about fiscal year 27 and tips. So I might put a little note into the agenda, like just to check in on those if that's been formulated by April. That way we might have those things to go to or watch or whatever.
Yeah, I'd love to attend one of those. That's cool.
I'm actually going to put in here on the agenda, plan for post Kim. Where are we going to keep all that stuff? So we probably should talk about that during that April meeting, because our next meeting would be pretty tight to a potential takedown day. So
I gotta tell you, now that I figured out how to store them, it is so much less space. It's embarrassing how I was doing it before. So I have a couple of big barrels, and I will donate those to the cause. And most of them, maybe half actually, but everything nestles around them if you've got a corner. So you just put stem to stem and they nest, and then they don't flop over each other. So it really is remarkably simple once you actually think.
And I wonder if all the flowers are looking great, because we don't want to put flowers that are, like old and.
So they're not all looking great.
So maybe we can also clean, or maybe you can, I don't know if everyone agrees, but I would say, Kim, before you take them out this year, I trust you in your judgment and just discard the ones that are not up to an exhibit.
Maybe we could theoretically paint those. Maybe that's the Albertelli edition, is to freshen those.
I love that. Recycle them. And I mean, if that, I mean, I was,
yeah.
So what I was thinking was like broken or not fixable.
Right.
But yes, absolutely. Repaint. That's great. I could take flowers.
I make no promises, but I will endeavor to do so. Yes. Because it's got to be beautiful weather, because if I take them out, they have to be laid out. Right. So, and they're, 4 feet tall at this point. So yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to add that to the agenda, is just plan for Kim's cycle off for storage and also for signatures, because she's the other PDF signature there. So for
if
FY,
you guys have DocuSign or Dotloop or any of those electronic signatures, Kiki sends those over, and it's so easy. Download, bloop, 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 and then upload. And
I just use regular Adobe, and I just uploaded an image of my signature, and I drop it because I converted all those files to forms on there so that
clever.
We don't even have to, even if you don't have DocuSign, anybody else can do it.
Right,
but
that's great.
The way we're going, where we only have 4 that haven't been turned in, I think I would assume we'll see those.
We'll be done. Right. So next year, somebody new gets to figure it out. Right.
All right. Awesome. It seems like, unless anyone has anything else, we're good to hear a motion for adjournment.
I motion to adjourn this fine meeting with all of you lovely ladies.
I second the motion.
Yay!
Motion.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.